What's up, YouTube? The NFL regular season is officially over. It's been a wild season. Like, who would have thought the Chiefs wouldn't be in the playoffs? Who would have thought the Ravens wouldn't be in the playoffs? The Lions as well. It's been such a wild year. You got the Patriots and Broncos on top. You had the Colts leading the AFC for a large part of the season. It's just been a pretty wild season. And now we officially got our playoff bracket. We now know who's going to be playing who. So let's just get straight into it here. All right, here's the playoff bracket. Shout out to NFL Perry Pick'em. If you guys have ever watched my streams on TikTok, you guys know I used to stream on this website all the time. NFL Perry Pick'em, just such an amazing website. Shout out to NFL Perry Pick'em on TikTok, on all of them. Make sure you guys follow them on all social media platforms. Just such a great website. But anyways, let's get straight into it, guys. We can see here now the Seattle Seahawks and the Denver Broncos are your number one seed. They faced off in the Super Bowl not too long ago. Russell Wilson versus Peyton Manning. But yeah, man, they got the number one seeds. The 49ers and Seahawks played a matchup, and whoever won that game could have secured the one seed. And obviously, the Seattle Seahawks ended up getting the one seed. Shout out to Sam Darnold, USC legend right there. But first matchup here, we got the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers. Now, the Green Bay Packers were a dark horse team for me to make the Super Bowl, but once Micah Parsons got injured and Jordan Love is now quite banged up. I don't think I don't think they're a team that is necessarily a contender anymore. But the Bears are a young, inexperienced team. You got Caleb Williams playing in his first playoff game, and then you got Ben Johnson, also first year head coach. So I'm not sure how that's going to go. But if I were to, bet on this game, I would probably take the Chicago Bears, and I think that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. I do have a bit bias because, like I said, I always ride for my USC guys. Caleb Williams, obviously, Sam Darnold. But I just think, the Bears are the better team, and they've been the better team for most of the year. I just don't, with Micah Parsons' injury, I'm just kind of not sold on the Packers anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Chicago Bears to go ahead and win that game. And then now we got the Patriots and the Chargers. This is actually the Sunday night game. This is such an incredible game, honestly. Two, young star quarterbacks in Drake May and Justin Herbert. This is going to be a hell of a battle. Two of my favorite quarterbacks playing against each other. Can Justin Herbert get his first playoff win? I want to take the Chargers, and I know a lot of Patriots fans are going to be angry if I do take the Chargers. I don't know who I'm going to take in this one yet. Honestly, I think this is a game. I think the Chargers have too many significant injuries, in my opinion, to go ahead and take them. With Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt being injured, I just don't know how that's going to go. Actually, I don't know if Joe Alt's back yet. I don't think he's coming back at all. I'm pretty sure it's an ankle injury. I don't think he's coming back at all, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, I think Joe Alt is out. I obviously know Rashawn Slater is out for the season, but I'm like 90% sure Joe Alt is out for the year with that ankle injury. But, yeah, those are just two significant injuries for me, but I am a big Harbaugh and Justin Herbert guy. But I'm going to go ahead and take the Patriots here. Just too many significant injuries, like I said. So I don't think Justin Herbert gets his first playoff win quite yet. They just need to get healthy, honestly. Now we got the Philadelphia Eagles and the San Francisco 49ers. Another great game. I thought this was going to go ahead and be the night game. I think this is probably the best game in the first round, in my opinion. Just two, franchises that have been at it. Just knocking on the door. Obviously, the Eagles finally winning their Super Bowl last season, but the 49ers have been knocking on the door for like the last 5 years now. But similar to the Chargers, guys, I just think they have too many significant injuries. You got Fred Warner, Ricky Pearsall constantly being out with injury. Who else? Nick Bosa is out for the year. George Kittle's banged up. Brock Purdy got banged up at the end of the Seattle game. So I'm just not too sure if I want to go ahead and pick, teams with all these injuries. I'm going to go ahead and take the Philadelphia Eagles, guys. Defending champs. I don't think they're going to go out in the first round. But the 49ers, led by Kyle Shanahan, I don't think I would ever count them out. But I'm not going to bet on it, guys. I'm going to go ahead and take the Philadelphia Eagles. Now we got the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Buffalo Bills. The Jacksonville Jaguars have had such an amazing year, with Trevor Lawrence having a career year. But the injury to Travis Hunter, that is, I would say a pretty significant injury. But they are balling. Liam Cohen, one of the favorites to win Coach of the Year. I think it's between him and Ben Johnson. But don't sleep on Kyle Shanahan for Coach of the Year, guys. I've been talking about it a lot. With all the injuries to, be playing till the last game of the season for the one seed with all the injuries the 49ers have, Do not sleep on Kyle Shanahan for Coach of the Year, guys, but I do think they're going to give it to one of these first-year head coaches in Ben Johnson or Liam Cohen, maybe even Mike Vrabel back with the Patriots. But Jacksonville Jaguars and Buffalo Bills, obviously Josh Allen going to be the best player on the field, I assume. Guys, the Jacksonville Jaguars have a legit defense. Parker Washington, the wide receiver, is balling. Obviously, you got Brian Thomas Jr. having a bit of a disappointing year. But I just think they are a very good team, guys. But this might be the first upset I take in terms of seeding, at least. I don't know who's going to be the favorite. I assume the Jags at home. But, Josh Allen, I'm not going to bet against Josh Allen. I don't think he's going to go out in round one. And honestly, call me, delusional, and maybe this isn't a strong enough, opinion, but I just think, I'm only taking the Bills because of Josh Allen. And I don't know if that, like I said, I don't think that's a strong enough reason for most of you, but it's enough for me. I'm going to go ahead and take the Bills. I just don't think Josh Allen's going to lose round one. Now we got the Carolina Panthers and the LA Rams. NFC South is such an absolute joke. Bucks and Panthers played, and the Panthers lost, so both teams would have had a negative record making the playoffs between those two teams. Shout out to the Panthers, though. I mean, they did kind of overachieve, I would say, from last year. I think they won 3 or 4 games last year to go ahead and win 8. That's, definitely a step up. But in terms of playoff, like, you're playing Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay. Like, there's just no way I'm going to go ahead and choose you. I'm picking the LA Rams to kind of win pretty handily versus the Carolina Panthers. But shout out to Bryce Young. Definitely has played, 2 years ago, he was getting benched for Andy Dalton, and now he's, playing in a playoff game. So definitely shout out to Dave Canales, the Carolina Panthers, and Bryce Young for honestly having such a incredible step up this year. So shout out to them. Definitely don't want to take anything away from them. But yeah, we're talking the playoffs here. Like, I'm not taking the Panthers seriously. I'm sorry, Panthers fans. Now we got the Pittsburgh Steelers. They actually just beat the Baltimore Ravens, so shout out to them. Houston Texans, guys, I think are a sleeper to make the Super Bowl in the AFC. They've been, back-to-back years, they've won a playoff game with C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud won a playoff game in year 1. He won one in year 2. Now going into year 3, the Pittsburgh Steelers are kind of dealing with, certain things like DK Metcalf getting suspended. He's going to be back for this game, but hasn't played in the last 2 games. Aaron Rodgers, one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time. I would love to choose the Steelers here, guys, but I'm going to go ahead and pick the Texans. They're balling. To start off 0-3 and then to, end the year, how much games did they win? Like 12 games? I think they won 11 or 12 games. 12 games. I'm pretty sure they won 12 games to get the number 5 seed. Could have won the division, honestly. I think they were only a game behind. So just start off 0-3. Shout out to DeMeco Ryans, the defense, that elite defense, and C.J. Stroud, Nico Collins, all those guys. But here's how the round 2 matchups shape up. We actually got the Seattle Seahawks and the LA Rams. Man, this is going to be a fight, like, for sure. I wish this was honestly the NFC Championship here. I'm going to go ahead and skip this one for now. I'm going to go ahead and... Denver and Buffalo. I'm going to skip this one for now as well. I'm going to just go down here to the Chicago Bears and the Philadelphia Eagles, guys. I'm sorry, Bears. NFC Championship, I don't know. Like, I wish these two teams could meet in the NFC Championship because I do think these are the 2 best teams in the NFC, honestly. But this game, guys, this game's going to be in Chicago, actually, so that definitely plays a factor. I think the Bears have only lost 2 games at home this season. And I'm not too sold on the Eagles either, guys. I'm not that confident the Eagles are going to beat the 49ers, honestly. But for some weird reason, I'm more confident in the Eagles beating the Bears. I don't know if I'm kind of underestimating the Bears here, but I'm going to go ahead and take the Eagles to beat the Chicago Bears. I'm not confident in the Eagles getting to the NFC Championship, though. But just kind of the matchups they drawn. I honestly kind of wanted to pick the 49ers, but like I said, just logically thinking with all their injuries, their defense hasn't really been that great. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and pick the Eagles. Now, we got the New England Patriots and the Houston Texans, guys. Wow, what a game. What a game this would be. Drake May versus C.J. Stroud. 2 amazing teams, amazingly coached teams, Mike Vrabel and DeMeco Ryans, guys. But I'm going to trust my gut. I'm going to go ahead and trust my gut here. I'm taking the Houston Texans to go to the NFC Championship. They've won, like I said, 1 playoff game in the last 2 playoff runs they have had. I think this is going to be the year they win 2 and they're going to go ahead and beat the New England Patriots to get to the AFC Championship. Now, we got the Denver Broncos and the Buffalo Bills. Do I think this is the year Josh Allen finally gets to the Super Bowl? No. I'm going to go ahead and take the Denver Broncos here, and we're going to get an AFC matchup of the Denver Broncos and the Houston Texans. I want to choose Josh Allen because I do think he's the best player in the playoffs. Like, it's either him or Matthew Stafford, definitely the best quarterbacks left. But guys, the defense is not there. He doesn't have the pass catchers. I just don't think they have the personnel of a Super Bowl team. Now, if they happen to go on and beat Denver and then beat Houston and then go to the Super Bowl, like, Josh Allen is him. Like, he's just flat out him. But the only way I think the Bills beat Denver is if Josh Allen has one of these, like, all-time playoff performances. So I'm not going to put past him, but against that defense, I'm just going to go ahead and trust, the two best defenses here in the Denver Broncos and the Houston Texans to match up here in the AFC Championship. And what a battle this would be. Now, let's get to the NFC side. I already chose the Eagles over the Bears. Seattle Seahawks and the LA Rams, guys. I'm sorry, Seattle. I'm sorry, Sam Darnold, you're my boy. But I just can't bet against Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford likely going to win MVP this year. It's either him or Drake May at this point. But I'm not going to go ahead and do it. And I'm just going to go ahead and tell you right now, the Rams are beating the Eagles, and the Rams are getting back to the Super Bowl since 2020 when they won it. Matthew Stafford, Sean McVay, you got Puka Nacua, the best pass catcher in football. Man, I'm just not going to go ahead and pick against Matthew Stafford. I think they're going to go ahead and beat the Eagles and the Seattle Seahawks. And yeah, guys, I think drawing this game in the first round against the Carolina Panthers was honestly huge for them, honestly, because then you beat Carolina and then you go on and you play Seattle. I'm not saying that's an easy game by any means, going into Lumen Field, one of the toughest places to play, but you already know this opponent. So I think that was huge for sure. And then the Eagles, getting the Eagles in the NFC Championship is not as bad as it would be last year, obviously, when they won the Super Bowl. I just don't think they're as strong. So I think the only team, weirdly as it sounds, because I had them losing in the first round, the only team I would say can beat the Rams is the 49ers. For some reason, like, I just think the 49ers kind of have their number, honestly. And Kyle Shanahan versus McVay, I think he's the only coach in here that could kind of, I guess, out-coach McVay, I guess, in the NFC. Ben Johnson, I'm not sleeping on him either, but I don't know, guys. I'm just going to go ahead and take the Rams to go to the Super Bowl. Now we got the Denver Broncos and the Houston Texans, guys. This is a tough one. I don't know who to take in this one. I do trust C.J. Stroud a little bit more than Bo Nix as a quarterback. But guys, I just think Denver, man. Something about Denver. I think they're gonna go to the Super Bowl. I'm gonna go ahead and take the LA Rams versus the Denver Broncos in the Super Bowl. I'm sorry, Texans. I really did want to choose you, but Denver, man. Something about Denver this year. I'm just gonna go ahead and take Denver. So we got the LA Rams versus the Denver Broncos in the Super Bowl, guys. Who's going to win the Super Bowl? The LA Rams are going to go ahead and win the Super Bowl. They kind of did fall off a little bit, had that nasty Falcons loss at the end of the season. But I think they kind of needed that. They could have had the 1 seed, like I said, but just had a kind of a fall off at the end of the season. But I think they're going to get right. And I trust Matthew Stafford more than anybody in this playoffs besides maybe Josh Allen. But Sean McVay, you got a great defense in Jared Verse, Kobe Turner, all these guys. I think this is the Rams year, guys. I think that Matthew Stafford's going to win MVP and he's going to win a Super Bowl this year. He's going to cap off, he's already a Hall of Famer, but I think he's going to be a Hall of Fame, lock after this season. And I think he's going to have an incredible postseason. So yeah, guys, the Rams are my pick to win the Super Bowl, guys. Comment down below what you guys think. I'm very curious to know what you guys think about these predictions.